I'll check it in a minute. Never play that card. Okay, we're clearly white. Blue. Let's get our dudes. Mearsmith might not make the cut. Sky Hunter for sure. Remember the Fallen, Skyguard, Legionnaire, Angel, and Herald. Silklaw, not an amazing card, but you'd be surprised at how often it really performs well for me. Do our Brass Squires. We'll do our Necropouncer. I really wish I'd gotten another piece of piece of equipment or two. Um, Excepting maybe the Barb Battle Gear and that stupid blocking one. That's a waste of time. But I'm okay with not having it. Corrupted Conscience is better for me to run than Numbing Dose. Tezzeret's Gambit. Sure. Nope. Turn aside. I like this curve. I mean, maybe let's get rid of one thing up at the high end. Nope. I don't really have anything I want to get rid of there. We'll probably put our 2 Oculi in and call it a day. Let's add our lands. 16. What do we got? We got more white mana symbols. I guess it's about even. I didn't end up with any mana mirrors, so that makes me want to have 18 lands, because I'm really going to be in trouble if I don't get lands on the table. And that means I got to make some decisions about what or if I want to cut anything. Silklaw I like traditionally because it allows you to get on the board and start that damage clock, but usually I only actually play him if there's any hope of me actually getting Metalcraft, because I mean 4 cards from the top of the library in a 40 card deck environment is actually pretty doggone good. I mean, basically that I can treat this creature as a 4/1 creature, or I guess it's more like a 2/1 if you do all the math. And then the question is, do I cut something else? A lot of times I will run 41 cards if I have a card like Tezzeret's Gambit, or a card like Shrine of Piercing Vision, or a Spell Bomb, or something, because I know that I have a good chance of drawing extra cards, which means that having an extra card in my deck is not really going to hurt me. But I think this deck stays where it is at 41 cards. Everything here I realistically see being used, and used to good effect. I lament not having a numbing dose or 2, but if I see super problem creatures, then I can always figure out some way to get them in. Until I know what I'm up against, though, I like these odds with this setup right here. It's a weaker deck, but we'll see how it performs in play. Here we are. I love this opening hand. I need a plains to be really effective, but worst case scenario, I get my Brass Squire turn 3, my Serum Raker turn 4, and I have something in hand to deal with any early game removal. Ideally, I'll get my plains and play out my Sky Hunter turn 2, have something to do turn 2 through 5, and I'll sail quickly to victory on the backs of flying and the damage that these 2 guys are going to do if they're unchallenged. So to anyone that's newer to drafting, never give up until you have to. Never concede the match until you've got lethal damage on the stack or you've got that final attack coming. One of the most interesting things about Magic Online is that it allows for a dizzying array of play mistakes that normal play doesn't allow for. And plus, in normal play, friendly play, you have the opportunity to take things back. You can go, oh, I didn't mean that, or you and your opponent can can stop the game and say, what are you trying to do? I don't think you understand what this card is meant for. Whereas in Magic Online, if you click something wrong or you sacrifice something unintentionally, it's done. There's no take back for anything like that. Pretty much the only thing you can take back on Magic Online is untapping and tapping lands. And I guess there's a brief phase during combat where you can change which creatures you're attacking with and which creatures you're blocking with on the blocking end of it. But almost everything else, you've got no forgiveness. So you want to make sure that you really know what you're doing every time you click. And it's very easy to lose sight of that and forget something very important that will cause you to lose games. I'll probably do some of them, so I'll give you some examples of that. So my opponent's down to 5 cards, which is good chances for me. Green is a good sign of infect or dinosaurs. I got the planes I wanted, so this is pretty much a golden hand for me right now. Everything I have plays out. Um, there's a very good chance my opponent will be down to 10 before this game really even gets started. It's going to be an uphill battle for my opponent. Pistis Strike here would suck. It's a possibility. I doubt it, though. Question is, next turn, do I play my Brass Squire? I'm going to go with yes, because really, if I draw out removal from my opponent's hand, that's one less card he has to use, and he's already 2 down. I've got Remember the Fallen coming from somewhere within my deck, so if he does 1-1 me with removal, then I have a very good chance of 2-for-1ing the opponent later. So my goal is to get as many things out on the board as I can and save my turn aside for that slow part of the game when my opponent has more mana and really has to deal with the threats that I put on the table, um, or die. So Brass Squire for me, I like that draw, but not enough to slow down my creature onslaught. And Shrine of the Piercing Vision, it's not a card you don't necessarily want to play that turn 2 unless you have nothing to do. Um, turn 2, 3, or 4 for that matter. Um, but it's a great card for drawing out of late game situations or drawing into things that solidify the fact that you're on the way to winning the game in the late game. All the shrines are very good for being great cards that you just kind of put out there and ignore for a while. The big thing I like about Shrine of the Piercing Vision is that there is no cost other than tap sacrifice to use it. I don't know if that's true for the other ones. I know that the other good ones have a mana cost associated, um, and that doesn't make them bad. That just makes them not as versatile as this particular shrine. My opponent needs lands, something fierce. I don't know what they're playing yet, and I don't know if I'm ever going to find out. There's my Remember the Fallen. Now I'm even more confident that putting out all my creatures is a good thing, because if he burns any removal to get rid of my creatures, then there's a very good chance I'm going to get them back. And Remember the Fallen is a nice card for me here also, because if I get in a situation where I play this Shrine of the Piercing Vision, I'm going to be able to use it with the direct understanding that I'm going to be able to get it back probably, along with a creature that dies in some unfavorable way. My opponent's got to get on this table, and that is a great way to do it. Yeah, I like that. He just wiped out 2 of my guys. And now we each lose a card. That actually kind of hurt him in a way, because I'm going to lose a land and he's probably going to lose something important. It was the best play that he could have done right there. He got 2 for 1, um, but it's not really getting him much closer to winning. It's just getting him a little bit further away from losing. I seriously consider casting Remember the Fallen here to get my Raker, and I'm not going to because I'm greedy. I want to make sure that I can at least get a Shrine of the Piercing Vision along with my creature. That could be a bad decision. We'll see. We'll see how this game plays out. Because now I basically got 12 turns of letting him get the mana base to get on the table. And if he has Acid Web Spider, some of my endgame plans are going to be pretty much sunk. Now, I'm not going to play my land here. If I have any cards that are 6 mana cost or more, which I think I have 3, I can always play a land and then play the spell. There's no reason not to leave this land in my hand because I can cast anything in my hand and I don't have any activated abilities on the table that matter. I like this girl, but not very effective against me, unfortunately. Although it will stop me from doing some damage with the Squire for now. I got my Battle Sphere, so now I have a solid reason to play out my land. And this is an instance where I think my best plan is to go ahead, pop my Shrine, hoping for a land. Land or Legionnaire? Land for sure. That's pretty easy actually. And you know, I might have been able to get my Battle Sphere out this turn if I'd done that before, but I really don't think so. I couldn't have banked on it. So I'm going to Remember the Fallen. The better creature to get here is the Raker, but I'm going to go ahead and get the Sky Hunter because at this point, since I have Battle Sphere in my hand, I'm looking to win the damage race, and if I leave an island open at all times, I can counter any nasty tricks that would be bothersome to me winning on the backs of either the Battle Sphere or the Sky Hunter. I mean, pretty much the only thing I'm afraid of right now is an Acid Web Spider, which he has to get the mana to put into play. Now, I'm not... Let's see. Yeah, I'm going to play the Battle Sphere here because if he, if he kills the Battle Sphere outright, I still have 4 Mirror tokens that are going to help me race to the damage victory. It leaves this move leaves my Battle Sphere and my Sky Hunter vulnerable for the turn, but afterwards I have nothing expensive in my hand that's going to keep me from having the shield of having Turn Aside available should any spells that I really don't want to kill my guys affect the board. I'm worried about Creeping Corrosion right now, but not overly so because the Sky Hunter is probably the main way I'm going to win this game. The Battle Sphere is just icing on the cake. And there we go. That's the other creature I'm afraid of that I didn't even expect to see. But I still think Battle Sphere is fine for what I want to accomplish. So, wow. And Brass Squire's a mirror. I didn't even realize that. That's awesome. That means that I get to add another point. So I've nearly killed him with that one attack. He's not killing my Battlesphere right now, no matter what he does. So the next attack kills him unless he gets rid of the Battlesphere. And turn aside for me is a compelling reason why he's not going to kill my Battlesphere unless he has something that doesn't target, like a creeping corrosion. This game, I mean, it was pretty much over from turn one, but now I can rest pretty assured that nothing is going to prevent me from winning. I shouldn't have played the Brass Squire there, just in case the opponent did have a creeping corrosion. What's he doing with that hangover mana? Ah, ardent recruit. Okay, so he's got a chump blocker. But now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I almost kill him just with the attack alone from the Battlesphere before he even chump blocks. So the question is there a way that I can do it this turn? Let's see what my draw is. My draw will possibly give me something that'll make it this turn. And either my two equipments here would be good. Necropouncer and I guess I have a third equipment too. I have the shield, but I know I have another offensive piece of equipment. I think I do anyway. I remember having one. Oh yeah, copper carapace. Copper carapace would do it too. Then I would just equip. I would equip carapace onto one of my squires, and then send in the team. Tap out the battlesphere, and if he blocked the Sky Hunter, I would just possibly swap the carapace over to the Sky Hunter. I didn't draw that anyway, so we're just going to attack here with the battlesphere and get all that juicy damage in from all of my mirror. That's one thing to really pay attention to. You always want to pay attention to what your creature types are. I mean, I pointed it out before, but all of the golem, all of the splicers, you know, their golem abilities affect far more than just those golems that they generate. You know, it's going to be all of your Phyrexian Hulks, all of your Hexplate golems, things of that nature are all going to be affected too. And so you got to pay attention to golems and mirror.